Welcome to those on live stream. Today's theme, continuing with this inner home I am cultivating, this space in which I use this inner space, this inner home, to recharge. So very connected to the first two sessions, cultivating a space of solitude and a space for self-understanding. All of that is very much connected to recharging. I sit here considering myself to be in this space like a patient. A patient in the sense of healing, of resting and recharging. Everyone needs rest. Everyone needs to recharge and to replenish. We're so used to physical rest, but there's also rest of just my energy. I use up so much of my energy, so much thinking, so much analysis, constantly trying to keep the state of being on all the time. And perhaps there may even be demands coming from all sorts of directions. That physical exertion is one thing. But the racing of my mind, the feeling of having to constantly produce something to prove, to meet someone's expectations, that is actually even more exhausting. I can drain myself, even while seated in one single place. This inner home, this inner space that I cultivate is a space where there is only me, a safe space, no roles, no gravitational pull of all of these expectations. Many say they just want some time to be and just pause. What that really means when we say that is I want that time where I feel connected, grounded to my own sense of self, however I define that. Being able to be is that feeling where I am not pulled in different directions. My energy of thoughts, feelings, my energy of decision making and discerning aren't being driven by need to meet up to these expectations. This quiet inner space where I can understand what matters most. That it's nearly impossible at times to feel connected and grounded in action and in interaction. And so at this time, I just make up for it in this inner space, in my inner home. That in this inner space, there is clarity of what matters, how I feel, how I see myself. Putting aside everything, every opinion, every mistake, where in this inner space there is no show. It's just me tending to my own well-being. aware I'm in this space, hearing with these ears, if possible with the eyes open, so I'm not suppressing or running away, shutting out the world. But this quiet space where I can just be, the only space for me. There is this income of peace, of stability, of safety in this quiet space, my inner home. And these innate capacities I have, these innate capacities of being able to have clarity, to be able to make decisions, to be able to do these things without this vested interest of being affected if things don't turn out a certain way. The sense of freedom that each of us are trying to have and are struggling to have. And it's that feeling I lack that freedom in the midst of living life. that causes me to drain. And this charging my battery, the way we get when we have physical rest. This is charging of my inner capacities, recharging in peace. So that when I return back to my day-to-day activities, it's very natural. The use of my energy is very natural. The use of my energy is not for someone, not for something, but just is the quality of what it is to just be, to be as I do. being this patient in this inner space. It takes patience, and I also cultivate patience. Patience is a very essential need at this time because there is a lot of resistance to take care of my inner space, to go into my inner space, to sustain my inner space. And the resistance is actually coming from inside. There are a lot of expectations and demands all around me. But the reason why the resistance comes from within is because of a fear of not being able to meet up to those expectations, fear of certain consequences. But all of it I end up dishonoring myself. Whether that is feeling disappointed in myself, fear of what others think, it becomes this vicious cycle. So this quiet time with myself, it's actually to be able to build inner strength. Inner well-being includes inner value. A sense of self-respect. And that doesn't mean that I disrespect others. But when I actually have this inner well-being, I have self-regard. And it allows this capacity to create a buffer inside. That there are always going to be times when I cannot live up to expectations. But my self of well-being, my self of learning to go back into that sense of being grounded, that should never be something I feel is worthwhile to trade. I matter more than any job, any role, any deadline, any task, any project. And if I sit and think about that, I know I can agree that's the same with everyone around me. Well-being of individuals matters more than anything. But I need to start with me. I need to recharge. I need to replenish. Only then do I have this inner strength to take care of me, to increasingly have that capacity to go back inside. to choose to, in the midst of any resistance, to choose to takes time, one drop at a time. But I love this quiet time. And so let that love be what drives me. Not force, not obligation, not guilt. But this love because I know I benefit when I take this time for me. Held in this space, my inner home. It's not a place of imagination. It's not a physical space. It's a state of well-being while I'm still very much alive and alert in my awareness. So I welcome you to stay a bit longer if you have the opportunity, just for yourself. I'm filling up a huge invisible tank of well-being. And we even tell our patients that we need to develop inner resources. We need to be able to create that safety in me so that that resource, that capacity is far greater than danger in me. And patients will actually feel more inspired if I take the time to take care of myself, because there is then power behind my words. Power in actually feeling that it is true. My inner space is very important. One's inner space is very important. So you're more than welcome to stay a bit longer. Some quiet time for yourself, this inner solitude, this space of self-understanding, this space to replenish and recharge. So, warm appreciation for joining. Just a kind reminder that our next sessions will be in July. Again, first Tuesday and third Wednesday and Thursday of the month. So that would be July 7th. And so that's the Tuesday, and the third Wednesday, Thursday is July 15th and 16th. And the topic is still yet to be determined. Usually it just comes up very naturally inside, so we'll certainly share that once we send our week ahead reminder to everyone. So another reminder as well, these sessions are uploaded onto the Google Drive, so we'll upload yesterday's as well. So you're more than welcome to download those and use it at other times whenever you wish to, if you have a means to listen to it offline. Those are just audio sessions. So thank you again for joining, and we will see you next time, if not in the office. So take care.